Okay, here we are. Say hi, ECLC.
Hi.
Hi, Coyotes.
Hi, Coyotes.
We are here to read a book.
Mm-hmm.
While we're all cooped up inside, we're going to read a book. And I have a helper here. This is my daughter. This is Autumn. She's going to help us. What book are we reading, Autumn? Do you remember what it's called? There are rocks in my socks, said the ox to the fox.
Fox. That's not fox.
That's the ox. There he is.
There he is.
And it is by Patricia Thomas and illustrated by Mordecai Gernstein. Here's the pictures. And it says, "There are rocks in my socks," said the ox to the fox. "Bumpy old, lumpy old, clumpy old rocks. Pinchy, squinchy whenever one walks. I feel grumpy with rocks in my socks." "So here, my dear steer," said the fox to the ox, "why don't you stop grumping and take out the rocks? I must say, I've noticed the longer one talks, the less time one has for taking out rocks." "But, sir, there's no way," said the ox to the fox, "to get rid of these rocks that are inside of my socks. With my shoes underneath, my feet firmly on top, I see no way at all of removing the rocks." There he is.
Look at him. Isn't he so beautiful and cute?
It's pretty wonderful. "Let me think," said the fox to the ox with a wink. There must be a way to get rocks out of socks." Eureka! I have it. Just do a flip-flop. Put your legs in the air so your feet aren't on top of the rocks, which will then slide right out of your socks. It's a good thing I'm clever, said the fox to the ox. Is he a clever fox?
Nope.
Yes, indeed, you are clever, said the ox to the fox. If I do a flip-flop so my feet aren't on top, then the rocks will come out, tumbling right out of my socks. Flip, zip, flop, plop. Do you think that worked, Autumn? Doesn't look like it.
No.
There's a tack in my back, said the ox to the fox, a prickly old, tickly old, stickly old tack. I really don't need this particular tack. If I found it was missing, I'd not wish it back. Furthermore, those rocks haven't budged from my socks, said the ox to the fox. And they hadn't budged. Said the fox to the ox, there's no need to sigh. I'll have it all solved in the blink of an eye. Quick, flick, your tail neath your back, and you'll knock aside quickly that prickly old tack. You are lucky I'm here, said the fox to the ox. Yes, you're a great help, said the ox to the fox. With a swish of my tail, I'll give that old tack a good whack. That will knock it from out under my back. Swish, whish, whump, thump. And there he goes. Do you think that worked? Let's find out. There's a rail on my tail, said the ox to the fox. A naughty old, cloddy old, roddy old rail. And I'm sure if this rail were placed on a scale, the whole thing would weigh just as much as a whale. I venture to state that in time one would hate the very great weight of a rail on one's tail. Not to mention that tack. The tack is still in my back, and all of the rocks that are still in my socks, said the ox to the fox. There, don't despair, said the fox to the ox. For it is true, don't you see? I'm sure you'll agree. Go on.
I'm trying.
You're no more. You've no more to fear as long as you've me. Your troubles are over. I swear it's true. For what else could possibly happen to you? Zzz, buzz, flit, sit. Oh dear. Something else is happening now. Let's see. Said the ox to the fox, "Thank you, my friend, for your faith."
To the fox, to the fox.
It says, said the ox to the fox, "Thank you, my friend,
You said to the fox, to the fox.
for your faith that my troubles will come to an end. Perhaps you are right to make light of my plight, but it seems that the end is not quite in sight. For here I remain, with rocks in my socks and a tack in my back and a rail on my tail. And if that's not enough, I believe a large bee has just decided to stop and rest on my knee. That makes me uneasy, in fact, somewhat queasy. For a large bee is a thing with a very large sting. Ouch. There he is. He's having quite a problem. Said the fox to the ox, "Yes, it does seem to me you'd be much better off without that large bee. However, because I'm so clever, I instantly see a way to remove that large bee from your knee. Just be quick. Kick your toes in the air toward your nose, which will shake your knee free of that unwelcomed bee." "Of course," said the ox. "How stupid of me. It's remarkably easy to shake off a bee. Flick, kick, zap, whap." Oh boy, Autumn. Oh boy.
Hi.
Said the ox to the fox, "You've observed, I suppose, that I seem to have kicked myself hard in the nose." Meanwhile, the large bee, not choosing to flee, has been startled instead into stinging my knee, which is, I confess, quite unpleasant for me. What's more, with these rocks still stuck in my socks, and the tack in my back, and the rail on my tail,
That's actually his butt.
I do believe it is fair to state my situation is less than great. Skippity, hippity hop, stop. There he goes. He's got all that happening to him. Poor ox. "My word," said the bird, "my eyes must be blurred. I've never seen anything quite so absurd. A big grown-up ox with his back on a tack and a rail on his tail and a bee on his knee gives his own nose a whack. Please don't go, Mr. Fox. As for you, Mr. Ox, would you care to relate how you got in this state?" And there he is. And there's a bird that's going to come and offer his opinion, I think. "It's a rather long story," said the ox to the bird. "It is hard to explain everything that's occurred. I believe it began with my friend here, the fox, who's an expert at getting rocks out of socks." Looks like it's nighttime. We're almost to the end. "Now take off your shoes then. Take off your socks. Try wiggling your toes, then dumping out the rocks. Next, put back each sock, put back each shoe, which is all, Mr. Ox, that you needed to do." "It is true what I've heard." "Is it true what I've heard?" said the ox to the bird. "All I needed to do to get rid of these rocks was to take off my shoes and to empty out my socks?" "Of course," said the bird. Here's the bird helping him out. Jiggle wiggle, bump bump bump, thump whump whump. And there's what he did with the rocks. He dumped all those rocks right out onto that fox's head. "I believe," said the ox, it might be well said that my friend the fox has rocks on his head. The end. I hope you enjoyed that, and we hope to see you soon, Coyotes, and everybody else at ECLC. Good night. Bye.
Bye.